Hello, everyone, and welcome to this incredible master class all about reclaiming your time, your power, and your life, claiming your clock, redefining time on your terms. I'm going to share this live video to the Midlife Womenpreneur Success community. And so if you're not a part of that, go ahead and search it up on Facebook and join the group, and you'll be able to watch it both here and in the group, depending on where you're at, streaming live in multiple locations. And the Midlife Womenpreneur Success community is an incredible space, an incredible place to receive support, to lean in for support and encouragement, and to learn how to amplify your energy, your influence, and your income. So give me a moment to share this, and then we'll get started. And before we get started, make sure that you have a piece of paper and a pen, or if you're driving, make sure you stay safe and just listen in and maybe do some of this work later. And put your phone on do not disturb. Create this space for you, right? Respect the time that you're here right now to reclaim your time, to redefine your time. All right, perfect. So we've got it shared. I want you to create a space for you today to be active. I want you to be engaged. I want to hear from you in the comments. I want to know if you're like, oh, yep, real life, this is really what's happening. Or if you are enjoying anything that we're talking about or it resonates with you, please just let me know. All right, let me make sure we're live in the group. Waiting for some people to hop on here. Oops, it looks like I shared it. Give me a minute. There we go. Sharing to the group. So I'm so excited that you are all here today. And this is going to be incredible for you to redefine your time, redefine time on your terms, because it's not your average time management workshop here. This masterclass is really going to help you amplify your time, your power, and your life. We're not going to talk about very simple productivity hacks or how to squeeze more into your already packed schedule, right? Because when I talk to some women, they're like, I don't have time for anything else, right? That's what they tell me. They're like, I just don't have time to add anything more. And the concepts that I'm going to teach in this masterclass are powerful because we don't learn how to do more. We learn how to be very intentional with our time. So if you are watching live or you're watching the replay, please share your name, share where you're from and what you do for work or what business you are running, what business you're passionate about at this time in your life. And we're going to just be really real here today. And I appreciate you doing that in the chat. So time is one thing we can never get back. Can you agree, right? Like hands up, I can I can go on a vacation. I can have someone support me with my team. I can buy a new car. I can, buy an experience. I can never get more time back. And if you're like most womenpreneurs I work with, you've been feeling like there's never enough time to get everything done because you're a dreamer and you have exciting things and you are a creator and you really love this work that you do, but there just never seems to be enough hours in the day. Feel free to raise your hand if that resonates with you. If it sounds familiar, you are not alone. You guys, here is the truth. Time is not the problem. It's how we've been taught to think about the time that's holding us back. And I cannot wait to share the concepts today that we're gonna dive into because it will blow your freaking mind and it's gonna be so much fun. So today I'm gonna help you shift that mindset and show you how to take control of your time in a way that feels aligned, intentional, so very powerful, so that by the end of this session, you'll be walking away with very accountable steps you can implement immediately. And for those of you who stick to the end, I have a bonus workbook to share with you. If you are not registered officially for this masterclass, please do so now. I'll drop the link in the chat. You'll want to register for this masterclass because you'll be getting access to the bonus workbook after this class. So after we're done, I'll make sure I drop the link in all of the spaces so that you can get a handle on that, so that you can officially register, so that you can get your hands on that. If you aren't registered and you're worried about getting that document, please just let me know. Send me a DM. Okay, so I want to start with a big old truth bomb. Your schedule is a reflection of your priorities. So if you don't have a schedule, that's telling you that your time is not important, that your priorities are not important. Okay. So first things first, like I want you to create a schedule. And now a lot of women business owners who are entrepreneurs, all of you are entrepreneurs, but what's happening is we're like, we got into this business for freedom. So I don't want to be tied down with a schedule. Can you relate? Can anyone relate to that? Because I could at first, for sure. I'm like, oh, I got into this for freedom. And then what happened is I wasn't being intentional with my priorities. I wasn't being intentional with my time. And so I found that I was like doing all the things, but not getting anything done. Has that ever happened to you? If yes, like raise your hand. And if you're constantly saying, I don't have time, what you're really saying is it's not a priority. So I want you to just like truth bomb that for a second. Hold on to that, right? So if you don't have a scheduler or a planner, you're not using your calendars on your email, like first things first, that would be your first priority. And I can help you do that. I can help you set that up. I can help you shift your mindset around that. But that's your first priority. Okay. And then when you look at your schedule, it's such a valuable, powerful reflection of your actual priorities. Okay. So here's a question for you. How many times have you caught yourself saying, I wish I had more hours in the day? Like raise your hand, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the replay. Like if you've ever said like, I wish I had more hours in the day. We have all said this. I promise you, we've all said this at some point in time, or we've thought it. Maybe it hasn't slipped our lips, but like, let me ask you this. What would you actually do with those extra hours? I'm very curious. Would you spend them on things that matter, or would you just try to cram in more tasks and keep spinning your wheels? Because often that's what we do, especially as high achieving women. You're a high achieving woman. You're a doer. You're like, I want to do all the things. I'm so excited. I'm a dreamer. This is exciting for me. And so we try to pack more and more and more in. And you guys, I used to raise my hand and be like, I'm an expert at multitasking. I'm so proud of that. And now instead of packing more things in, I know what my priorities are. And I create my schedule as a reflection of that. So anyone who looks at my schedule, they're going to see a beautiful, healthy balance in my terms of fun, of play, of rest, of work, of, my one-on-one calls, of group calls, of creation, right? All of the things that are important to me. And you guys, here's where our brains get muddy with this, or we start to question ourselves, is because everyone has a different definition of what their priorities are. And then we can get into this comparison trap of, oh, well, her schedule's set up like this, or he does this, or he might think that, or she might think that. And so it can get into a slippery slope. Okay, so here's the thing. It's not about needing more hours. And I'm going to add some perspective to this here in just a minute. It's about needing more intention. And that's why it's so important to slow down and do the work and answer the questions that you're asking yourself, right? What would I do with more time? Actually answer that question. How often do you ask yourself questions in your head all day, but you don't actually stop to answer them? You just keep barraging yourself with answers, right? And so you need to talk back to yourself. You need to say like, oh, this is what I would do with this. So time is not your enemy. Your mindset around time is, right? It can cripple us. It can make us shut down and say, well, I just got too much to do. I'm not going to do anything. Anyone ever done that? Anyone ever been there? So let's talk about the cost that this poor time management is creating for you, right? It's just not about missing deadlines or feeling overwhelmed. It's about lost opportunities, right? It's about focusing so hard on all of the things that you miss the most amazing thing over here. It's about diminishing your influence, right? Not being able to serve as many people as you are able to. It's about a stalled income, right? Like I'm doing all the things, I'm working so hard, I'm working overtime, but like I am not creating this income that I desire to create. And it gets to be exhausting. It gets to feel exhausting. So every moment you spend reacting to your schedule instead of proactively managing it, you're giving away your power. And ladies, your time is your power. That is why I have created and brought on a team to help me. My time is so valuable and so is yours. And so are my team members, right? It is your power. And when we can learn how to harness it and use it and be very intentional about it, it's incredible. It will blow your mind. It will blow your business up. And you will shift into this amplification of the work that you're doing. So if you're just joining, share who you are, share what you do in business, and share where you're from. And if you're watching the replay, please be active in the chat as well. This is how you learn. This is how you engage. This is how you grow. So now I'm going to help you shift your time story. We're going to rewrite that story. We're going to challenge some common beliefs about time. And if you're someone who's like, nope, everything's good, everything's fine, never have a problem, I want to tell you just a little story, right? At one time in my life, my definition of success used to be having all my shit together. And that held me back so much because we will never have everything like all together perfectly, where we can just set it on cruise control and never have to do another thing. Like, right? Now I'm a dreamer and I love to think about that. I love to visualize that. But when I stop to think about it, I'm like, I want to be involved. I want to show up and I want to challenge those stories in my brain. I want to challenge those stories in my mind. So if you're not willing to show up and challenge some of those stories, those beliefs that are keeping you stuck, that are keeping you reeling and doing all the things but getting nothing done, like you can just kindly excuse yourself, because here in this work, when working with me, clients show up to challenge their beliefs, not only about time, but about life, about business, about everything, because that's how we learn and that's how we shift and that's how we grow. So belief number one that I'm going to challenge is I don't have time. Truth bomb. And I know you've heard this, right? We all have the same 24 hours as everyone else, right? Whether you're Oprah or Beyonce, every successful womanpreneur out there has the same amount of time. And what you can do is you put people on a pedestal or you compare, right? You're like, oh, she has so much time because XYZ. And you know what? Like she creates time for herself, right? But it's also her thoughts around that. So the difference is how women use their time. Here is a perspective that is powerful for me, that changed my life, that changes the life of my clients. There are 525,600 minutes in a year, for 43,800 minutes in a month, 10,080 minutes in a week, and 1,440 minutes in every single day. This is how date days got started with my husband, because we were looking at things and we felt really disconnected and we felt like we never got alone time, especially when you have kids, right? And I took a look at the year and I said, okay, there's 365 days in a year. Like I'd love to do a date day with you every month. And that felt really overwhelming. But when I put it into perspective and I put metrics to it, it was powerful, because I'm like, oh, once a month is just too much. Maybe we'll do once a quarter. And I'm like, if we aren't willing to be intentional about taking 12 out of 365 days a year together, like it's time for me to relook at my priorities. So I want you to put this into perspective for yourself. And I also want you to factor in sleep, right? Because sleep is important and it's powerful. And I want you to take care of yourself. This, again, isn't about doing more. You'll actually find that when you do this work and you're intentional with it, you start to do very meaningful things and you get so much more done than you ever thought possible. So here's belief number two that we're going to challenge is I need to work harder, right? We shift right into this one. In truth bomb, hard work actually doesn't equal success. Aligned work does. That's why it's so important to slow down and align and be very intentional about what your priorities are so that you can focus on the right things, right? Having a coach that draws that out of you. This morning I was on a call with a client and we she showed up and she's like, I just don't know. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you know? And we worked through it. And by the end of the call, she had a very clear plan. She had a very clear vision. And she was like, I'm so excited. right? Look at all the time I got back versus all the time she spent worrying about, I don't know, or this is taking so much of my time, or I have to babysit, right? So when we focus on the right things, the things that move the needle in your business, they will start to have more clarity. There'd be so much more clarity. So it's important to schedule time to create that alignment, right? Show up to coaching, coach yourself, right? Take a notebook out and just like write down all the things you need to get done, all the things that are important for this week. What really is important, and challenging that, questioning it, right? Because when we just accept the thoughts that come into our brain, we will succumb to them, right? We all have unintentional thoughts. We have to be very intentional about what we're thinking. Because if we let those thoughts lead us, we can go into like, well, I've just got too much to do, so I'm going to just binge Netflix. Or I've got too much to do, and it's just very easy to like fall into this novel that I'm reading right now, right? Anyone relate? Raise your hand, drop an emoji in the chat. Also, if you're just showing up, please drop your name, share what business you are passionate about, and we want to hear from you. We want you to be engaged. So scheduling time to create this alignment is your first step. When is the last time you had a business meeting with your CEO? That's you, AKA that's you, right? Like you are the CEO here. And we can get very busy, very caught up in doing all the things for our business, right? Because there's a lot to do, right? I could show up to my office for an entire week and do all the things I want to do and get excited about creating, and never once schedule a time for like a meeting with myself to get my thoughts around it. I could do that. I could make that choice. I wouldn't get anywhere, and I would feel like I'm not getting anywhere. So whether you are running life, a business, 4 businesses, clubs, volunteering your time, whatever you're doing, you are the CEO of your time. And that fact alone, like, I just want you to feel that, like, that's powerful. You hold this power in your hands. And because you hold this power, you get to create choices. So when is the last time you sat down at the table to get organized? Right? That you scheduled a meeting like the first hour of every week, right? Monday morning, so that you can like take a look at your whole week ahead. Or do you just dive into it and you're like, got to get this, right? I want you to think about this every week, at least 1 hour. You need to be sitting down. You need to create intentional time to have a meeting with your CEO, because she is badass and she is amazing. And the fact that you keep canceling on her is not okay. Right? That does not reflect incredible intention and prioritization. And I say that with so much love, because you are worth it. Your business is worth it. So sit down with her and have a conversation. Be like, what actually needs to be done? Because I know, sweetheart, I know, lovely, that you want to get all of these things done because you're incredible and you want to offer this. You want to help people. But what actually needs to be done? What will move the needle this week? This creates an abundance of time because it creates aligned work. Okay. Belief number 3. I'll get to that when I have more time. Truth bomb. Waiting for more time is the biggest trap you will like put yourself in. And so many people put themselves in it. Have you or anyone else ever said, or you heard them say like, well, after this season, or when this is over then, or, all of that. And while it is important to like focus on, one thing at a time, because our brains do better, much better that way. When we keep saying that, when we keep talking about it, it takes us back to that scarcity of time. Like it just does. It's unintentional. So what I want you to do is when you have something that is set aside for another season, you can say that. It's like, yes, I have committed to doing that. I've already made a plan to do that in April or in September. I have my whole year laid out, and my clients have done this work too, so that they know like which goals, like all the goals they want to achieve this year, and then which quarter they fall into, or which month they want to focus on that, so that we're not during January, we're thinking about all the things. And then we're like, oh, you get stuck. You totally stick yourself with overwhelm. Okay. So waiting for more time is a trap. And if you keep talking about it and saying like, I'm going to wait for the perfect time, or I'm going to wait till I have more time, or I'm going to wait till this season is over, write it down and then speak it a different way. Think it a different way. Say like, oh my gosh, that's so exciting to me, and I'm working on that in February. Feel the difference there versus like, oh, when I have more time then. The fact of thinking that or saying that creates scarcity of time. You will never magically have more time. We all have the same amount of time. You have to create this time, this intentional time with your priorities. Okay. So one of my clients really felt like she was overly, constantly overwhelmed. And she felt like she couldn't keep up with her business tasks. And together, we worked together to shift her mindset and prioritize her time blocks. And within weeks, she doubled her output. She was working less. And the best part, she felt so much more balance and joy in her life. You guys, these are the transformations that happen when you redefine your time. One of the most incredible things I love to do is define, right? What a word means to me. Like what I want you to sit down and think about what does time actually mean to me? Like, what does it mean? Does it mean that there's a lot of it? Does it mean like I never have enough? Like, just be curious about it, because when we get curious about it and we define it, we can then decide how we want to redefine it, and you can redefine it any way you want. And people are going to think you're crazy, and you're going to be like, "Yes, thank you." Right? You like I can let you be crazy, right? So, as we step into a framework to claim your clock, I want you to get ready to take some action. Okay. So if you're sitting down, have a piece of paper and a pencil with you just to jot down some notes. And if you're driving, come back to this, make a note to come back to this. I want you to ask yourself the 3 most important things I need to focus on today that will move my business forward. Not 10 things, not 20, just 3. I want you to prioritize with purpose, right? And here's the thing. Sometimes we think that there are things that are so important. And when we challenge that, or when we get curious about discovering why they're so important, we realize like they are actually not important at all. And a lot of these things feel important because they come from other people, right? We are reacting, right? Like I have to be available to my clients at all times. When that happens, yes, I love to support my clients. But if I never block time off to work on my business, I cannot serve them well, because all I'm doing is putting out fires all day long. And I'm not creating what is meant for me to create for them. Okay. You want to know how I sleep so well? I create a list at night of the top 3 things I need to do tomorrow, like non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. Like these are the 3 things that I need to, because there are always things at the end of the day that I get excited about. I love my work so much that I'm like, I want to do this and I want to do this and this will be fun. And oh my gosh, here we go. And I could stay up all night doing that. And I used to do that. But we need our sleep and we need to take care of ourselves. And the thing that helps me sleep most is by making that list, the top 3. I create a list at night of the top 3 things I need to do tomorrow, that I want to do tomorrow, that are just non-negotiable. And I schedule them in advance. Because when you step into the moment, right, when I wake up the next day and I don't always feel like showing up or doing the work that I want to do, that I was so excited about last night. Have you guys ever felt that, where you you have this beautiful schedule? It's so beautiful. Maybe you color code it, maybe you have tabs, maybe, it's just like so much fun. And then you just keep not showing up to it. And you're like, why is this not working? Right? We have to redefine what time means to us. And then we have to talk to ourselves and answer the questions that are going through our head, right? But we need to schedule these things in advance. Because if I schedule them in the moment of, or I try to do them the moment of, my primal brain, your primal brain, won't always want to do the work. And so being a master of your time isn't about fleeting moments. It's about the intentional and purposeful moments. Next, I want you to think about time blocking with intention. Setting specific time blocks in your calendar for focused work. Here's the key to setting time blocks. Protecting these blocks like your life depends on it. No distractions, no interruptions. I want you to raise your hand or drop an emoji. Like, who puts their phone on do not disturb? Does anyone do that? I didn't I didn't even know that there was a do not disturb button. Now I do it all the time, right? When I have a task, I do it all the time. Another hack that you can use is your timer all the time, right? Because like we all have things that are on our schedule that we need to get to, that we want to get done, that are important to us, right? And we want to stay on this time schedule. And so instead of me, looking at my clock every 5 minutes to say like, oh, is it time yet? I put my phone on disturb and I set a timer and I'm like, put on some music that motivates me and I get to work. Right. And I just say like, when the timer will stop me. I don't have to worry about checking the time. And I don't have to worry about interruptions because I've put my phone on do not disturb. So it's an incredible gift, right? Check your phone every hour, check your phone every 4 hours. But the next time you sit down to do a task and feel unfocused, put your phone on do not disturb and set a timer. It will change your life. It will change the way that you redefine your time because you will start to respect it more. You'll start to say, "Hi, time, I love you so much that I'm going to do this. I'm going to respect you." And then you want to evaluate and adjust, right? At the end of the day, take 5 minutes to reflect. Did you spend your time on what truly matters? If not, adjust it for tomorrow. This simple practice will keep you aligned and intentional. Now, when I share this work, there are often women that say like, "Well, but I don't have time to do this." It's like, this is the work that needs to be done so that it creates more time. You guys, this is so incredible. So when you think about reframing, redefining, claiming your clock, redefining your time, right? I want you to prioritize with purpose. Ask yourself, what are the 3 most important things that I need to get done today that will move the needle forward on my business? Not 10, not 20. I know you've got 100, right? This is why I teach all my clients to have a shiny object list. We will get to it in time, but let's focus now so that we're not scattered all over the place and trying to do 20 things at once. Time block with intention and give yourself the space. Do not disturb, set a timer, and then evaluate and adjust. Like, what worked, what didn't work, what do I want to change, right? And all of these things, you can do all of these in 15 minutes or less, right? Set your top 3 and evaluate and adjust, 2 to 5 minutes each day. And then you can set a time block for 5 minutes if that feels manageable to you, right? We all need to have our on ramp because when we go from 0 to 100, it can feel like a lot. So say like, here's what I'm doing now. Here's what I want to work up to. What is my on ramp, right? It's just like getting on the interstate, getting on the freeway. It's like, what is my on ramp for that? Because some people, and this is the best analogy I have for this, right? Especially with the new year, right? Like everyone's like, oh, I'm going to lose 20 pounds and I'm going to exercise 5 times a day and I'm going to do all of these things. Yet they're not doing any of them. So they start to like implement, and they get overwhelmed. So then what do you do? You don't do any of it. So find your on-ramp and take these 3 simple steps to get started. So you've just learned how to start reclaiming your time. This is just the beginning, you guys. To help you implement what you've learned today, I am going to give you access to my Claim Your Clock workbook. So again, make sure that you have registered for the masterclass. If you're watching the replay, DM me and put your name in the chat. Say, hey, I want the workbook. Raise my hand. I will send it to you. This is such a powerful tool to help you reflect on your time stories, the stories that you tell yourself, to visualize your ideal day, and to create intentional time blocks. It is so powerful. And I'm inviting you to do this work because it will allow you to step into your power and allow you to create this beautiful year, to stop reacting and start creating your time, your success, your legacy in your business, in your work. So you guys, thank you so much for spending this time with me today. You've already taken a huge step just by showing up. Remember, your time is your power. You have full ability to claim it, own it, use it to create the life and business that you desire. And this is only the beginning of this work. This is only the beginning. Because I want to let you know that we take these concepts even deeper in the Amplify Academy. It's a space for high achieving womenpreneurs like you who are ready to elevate their influence, their income, and their impact. Inside the Academy, we focus on mastering your time, unlocking your energy, and amplifying your business results with the support and encouragement of a coach, someone who draws out, someone who challenges you, someone who helps you shift into that higher version of yourself and your business. It's not just about productivity, you guys. It's about becoming most aligned, most powerful version of yourself. in business and life, because business is life and life is business. And because you've joined me for this masterclass, you have an exclusive opportunity to join us inside the academy. And I want to see you there. I want to have a conversation with you about it so that you know how we can support you even more with amplifying your energy, your influence, and your income. So send me a message to learn more, drop your name in the chat, share this with all of your busy womenpreneurs, right? Anyone, even any of your friends, any of your women that are like, oh my gosh, I just don't have enough time, or I'm waiting for the right season to do this. Share this, give them the gift of this training, of this masterclass, so that they can start to open their minds, start to get curious about what an abundance of time would look like. The most incredible thing happens when women work with me and they're like, they have this, right? Their problem when they come to me is like, I don't have enough time. And I've had women say, like, their problem has shifted to, I don't know what to do with this extra time. Have you ever felt that? Have you ever had that problem? That's the problem my clients have in the Amplify Academy, because we work so much on the mindset and on creating this intentionality and redefining what time means to you. So I love you guys so much. I'm so grateful for that you are here. I'm so proud of you for showing up. There's so much time like waiting inside of you, and I want to help you draw it out. So message me to learn more, get in my DMs, leave a comment here, and make sure also that you are registered for this masterclass officially so that I can send you a copy of the workbook. And I'll talk to you soon. So much love. Take care.